In today's sports update, we stay in the state of Louisiana, where two very different stories are making an impact in the world of college basketball, and both just happen to be coming out of Baton Rouge. I'll have all the details, plus what it could mean going forward coming up after the break, so stick around. Welcome back. I'm James Farrar with today's sports update. When it comes to the action on the court this season, the LSU Tigers men's basketball team is having one of the best years in school history. Heading into Saturday night's regular season finale, the 10th ranked Tigers were 25-5 and only needed to win at home against last place Vanderbilt to be crowned outright SEC regular season conference champions for the first time in a decade and only the fifth time in school history. LSU had assistant coach Tony Benford taking over the head coaching duties in this one, and they were playing without freshman guard Javonte Smart, who had led the team in scoring in each of the last 4 games. I'll have more on both of those situations in just a second, but even shorthanded, LSU was too much for the Commodores, winning 80-59. In a conference with Kentucky and Tennessee, the Tigers' title victory should be one of the biggest feel-good stories of the year. It would be if it weren't for the other news coming out of Death Valley right now, though. LSU announced Friday that second-year head coach Will Wade has been suspended indefinitely after he was the latest person to be caught up in the ongoing FBI investigation into corruption in college basketball. According to Yahoo Sports, FBI wiretaps caught a phone call between Wade and Christian Dawkins, one of 3 men convicted last October on wire fraud and conspiracy charges, who is also waiting to stand trial on federal bribery charges in a case Wade is expected to be called as a witness in. The two can be heard discussing Wade's frustration over not yet receiving a commitment from a recruit, despite what Wade described as, quote, a strong offer tilted towards taking care of the player and his mother. The holdup was it was claimed that the third party who received the offer was unhappy with their piece of the pie. The player, who wasn't named in the call, is believed to be Javonte Smart, which is why he's being held out now. Overall, Wade denies breaking any NCAA rules, and there is going to be an investigation coming up, so it wouldn't be fair to make any determinations just yet. But based on how these things kind of play out, it doesn't seem to favor Wade or LSU basketball. There are plenty of cases where coaches have been caught discussing payments to players, but I can't think of one where the coach was on record and ended up being cleared of all wrongdoing and kept his job. And most of those cases don't even involve the FBI or convicted felons. Losing their head coach could be the least of LSU's problems, though. Depending on the results of an NCAA investigation, LSU basketball could be facing major penalties and sanctions for any violations that took place under Wade. Given the magnitude of the federal case going on right now and the impression that an example needs to be made, LSU could easily see something similar to the death penalty that SMU football got back in the 1980s. The LSU basketball program isn't the same as LSU football, and they don't have near the resources, so that kind of penalty could take decades for the program to recover. After all, it's been 35 years and SMU still hasn't. I'm keeping my eye on this story as it develops, but for today that's all, and we're going to head back to the news desk.